Hey! Hey guys, what's going on? Source Sound here. Welcome back to Cupid episode 6. It's been 2 weeks since I recorded the last one because I just checked. And yeah, so let's say, here we go. Gwilym, if you don't start acting like your own self, then people will not hesitate to take everything. He laid out the rest of the books he had brought out. Oh yeah, I remember now we're in the library. Hang on, I need to slide my laptop forward so I can actually see the screen. I didn't read that. One was an activity book for children. It had a picture of a child holding an apple with an arrow stuck in it. In the child or the apple? Another was a book of limericks. And Limerick is a place here as well. Well, not here, in Ireland, I should say. The other two were thicker books that intimidated her. She would come to know them as Hamlet. You're learning to read, and it's bloody well Hamlet and Paradise. I don't know what Paradise Lost is, but I know what Hamlet is. Never read the bloody book, or seen the play, but it seems to be interesting. If it's Hamlet by Shakespeare, or whoever wrote Hamlet. But the one that caught her eye was the one ornately designed, book. It had beautiful red jacket with a delicate gold trimmings lining in the corner. Is she on about this guy's jacket? The gods and goddesses of Roman mythology. This would be her favorite book, her treasure, and she knew it. Like love at first sight. Do you guys believe in love at first sight? To be honest, I did for a while, but not really anymore. Oh, I forgot. These books are yours. Take them with you. Read the thin ones first, and then gradually build your vocabulary. I need to build my vocabulary with the thicker ones. Rosa ran her hands over the skin of the red book. Hang on, there was dog hair in my mouth for some reason. She opened the cover gingerly, as if carefully unwrapping a present. You don't unwrap a present carefully. You just rip the living crap out of it. Thank you. No thanks needed. I simply showed you some books from a portion of the library you were unaware of. ... You are still so generous, even if you were like this. What? Like what? That. What? Something irritable. William didn't reply, leaving an awkward silence lingering between them. Then he gave a giant laugh that made Rosa jump out of her skin. I do look damn irritable, don't I? Why? Is it because of Emily? Or Emily? I don't know how the French say Emily. Emily. William's eyes drifted away. No, they didn't. They're still in the corner of his face. No. I've always been... What? Oh, I've always been. You just pointed it out. But you are not usually like this. Especially with Catherine and the townspeople. I find it easy to adapt to people, especially the ones I like. Gwilym looked at Rosa as if he had just come aware of her presence. Makes me wonder why I'm so stern with you. I'm sorry. Rosa shook her head. I read that like it was something else. I somehow prefer this side of you. Gwilym cocked his head to the side. He brought out the green book that Rosa noticed earlier. This is called a journal. When you learn to write, start one. What is it? Something you can use to remember yourself when you're forgotten. Does it work? It used to. Nowadays, not anymore. Oh. Everything's gone really quiet in my room, sorry. The act itself is the only thing I remember. Now. I don't know why they have now just on a separate thing. I'm dumb. Now. Let's start with your vowels. Holy shit. shit, that gave me a bloody heart attack, I'm sorry. A scream pierced the halls of the chateau. It was Catherine. William sprinted to the door with Rose and I behind. Holy Jesus. Let me just say this, guys. There may be some sensitive material you might find here, so if you do want to skip a couple of minutes. But I'll tell you when. Or it'll be up on the screen. Like, literally the click before I, hopefully I remember. Back in the piano room, Catherine took a shaky step towards her sister. She wasn't moving at all. Blood dotted the ivory keys. I didn't. It was an accident. Emily? She was overcome with the urge to approach her sister and shake her awake. Make sure she was okay, but it was a nasty fall. Emily? Catherine saw the way her sister's head snapped back as it collided with the sharp corner of the piano. She watched it all as like a series of photographs in her head. She had to check on her, but her feet refused to move. Instead, she began to retreat into a corner. She didn't even notice her legs weren't moving until her forehead touched the wall. She didn't want to turn around. Her sister was on the floor. Her eyes were still open, unblinking. It was an accident. It was nothing but an accident. Was it? She pushed first. She got really scary. She strangled me. What? That's absurd. Are you sure? Would she do that? I don't know. Let me hit the save button. And it's not too graphic, so I said I'd leave it. I know it's a very bad, but I think she did. Catherine touched her throat. It felt fine. That Perrid girl, Emily, is it? She really believes just because the Marquise took her in that he's interested in her? Well, she's obsessed with the master. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Wasn't her mother a bit, not right in the head? Probably runs in the family. Emily had looked mad. Her eyes had burned with malice of her as she had closed her fingers around Catherine's neck. But she couldn't remember if that had really happened. Our sister was always kind to her. She would never ever hurt her, even when they got into fights. Sister loved her. Am I turning mad? I have the blood of a mad woman. Am I going to end up like her? I only told her the truth. Guillaume doesn't care for her, and she doesn't even care for him that much either. It was all just chaff, their relationship. No sense trying to make everyone else miserable too. But she called me jealous, and okay, well that's definitely gonna be edited out by me, or if it isn't, it doesn't matter. Wow, she has never called me a Shh, that's supposed to be like one of the worst swear words in the world, but when you're in Ireland you get used to it, people saying that word all the time. But since this is going up on YouTube, I will probably have to censor this out, so. She said they had decided to send me away. My lessons sent home. The piano replaced. It was for my own good, she said. I don't have to travel here all the time. I can concentrate on my own other endeavours. I can make new friends. But I know she just doesn't want to hear me near the chateau or Guillaume. She hates it when I catch her with him. Perhaps this morning was the last straw. She hates it. But she also smirks at me when I see them, like she basks in it. I think I might hate her. Catherine's thoughts ran through her head like a storm. They poured out of her aimlessly. I wonder if the piano is broken. Am I going to pay for it? What will become of us without sister's wages? What of father's medicine? What of my dreams? Sister can't be dead. Sister can't be dead. Catherine brought her fingers to her lips and nibbled on her thumb. She didn't notice her mind was preoccupied. She was in the corner of the wall biting her fingers. It was a tiny comfort in a rapidly collapsing world. Whoa. Gwilym opened the door and found Emily lying on the floor. An ugly gash broke her skin on her forehead. Facing the wall was Catherine, shivering like a leaf and viciously devouring one of her fingernails. He approached her cautiously. "Catherine?" Rosa was out of breath, but was still able to let out a gasp at the scene. Emily's lightless eyes stared up as nothing while Catherine passed herself into a corner. What happened after she had left? She had left. "Rosa, will you call for help, please?" "See that someone checks on Emily." Rosa did as she was told, but what she really wanted to do was hug Catherine herself. Gwilym took a small step towards her. He called out her name slowly, coaxingly. Catherine turned her head, her thumb still on her lower lip. The flesh was torn, and a smudge of scarlet painted her teeth. "It was an accident, I swear." "Of course it was, Catherine. Of course it was." "She pushed me first. She wanted me sent away. She wanted me gone." "You can tell me about it later. Let me take you away from this room." "What have I done?" Catherine fell to her knees and wept. Large sobs sucked the air out of her. She felt like drowning, trying to keep herself afloat between sobs. Every exhale was a squeezing pain in her lungs. She felt Gwilym's arms wrap around her. "What have I done? What have I done?" "You didn't do anything, ma chérie. This is not your fault." There was a bitter bulge building up in her throat, and she felt that no amount of crying could push it back down. "What am I going to do? Father is sister. I'm so scared." William's arms wound tight around her, and she clutched onto his warmth in this vast sea of feet. "You don't have to be. I will always be by your side, Catherine. I will take care of you and your father, all right? You don't have to worry about your future." Her tears soaked his shirt through, but the squeezing into his chest felt less painful. Why do you do this? Why do you care so much for me?" Gwilym's brow furrowed, as if confused that she even asked. "I just do." It was a boldly stated fact, as painfully obvious as Catherine was a fool for not knowing it. It made Catherine's heart expand in her ribs. When she looked back, she would recall this as the moment she fell in love with him. The look in his eyes was reassuring and strong. She wasn't alone. She was going to be all right. Let's get you away from here." He supported her arms and stood her up, careful to block the view of her sister from her eyes. He led her to the door. Catherine hated how fast her relief came. She was still drenched in sorrow at her sister's death. Her father would not take well to the news, especially in his health. But she was all right, and she hated it. Rosa was with her. She didn't have to leave her piano, her dreams, him. Nothing had to change, and most importantly, she hated the voice that came whispering in her head over and over again. "Thank goodness she's dead. Thank goodness." Okay, I did click there. The first candle is lit. The candle is storage. The love for familiars. The cleanest love. Rosa stared at the blue candle glowing in her hand as she chanted her spell. I thought it said thrust the veil. I was like, okay, that's getting a bit weird. Trust is the veil that conceals and deceives. Trick his eyes and his heart with warmth from this candle's flame. A bond of blood, like kin, will be formed. Weave this trust so his tongue will yield to what is sought. Oh no, we're in a graveyard. Rosa stood by Catherine's tomb, nursing memories of her. The soft wind lightly blew her hair. It reminded her of Catherine and her playful ways. Tears sprouted from her eye. Oh yeah, 'cause she only has one eye. Even the wind consoled her. That's the first time in ages we were able to play as the mother there. I am always here, my love. Loss will always hurt, but you have love, mother, the best. You love mother the best, don't you? Yes, mother. Then you are going to be fine. Pardon me. I will never leave you like Catherine did. Rosa? Sorry, there's like wires under my feet. I keep standing on them. William's soft voice came from behind. Rosa glanced at him in acknowledgement. He stood quietly beside her for a few moments, but ventured to speak. Have you thought about my offer? My house is always open for you, remember that. I'm sorry for my outburst back then. It's nothing. The wind played around their feet, and Rosa pictured Catherine as part of the breeze, playful and free. She was free from the pain and confusion that had plagued her in her last days. They stood beside each other in solemn reverence. Finally, Rosa broke the silence. Let's hit that save button. Hopefully the audio's alright, and hopefully I'm not whispering too much. She was my family. I was in pain before she came along. I didn't know any better. She gave me hope. She was bright, like a flame. When I close my eyes, I can still see the imprint of her light in the darkness. I can feel her warmth, a star. They didn't speak again for some time. Gwilym cleared his throat. I was an orphan too, much like you. I know what it is. I know what it feels like to lose too much. I wandered for a long time before I found anything to live for. Were you alone? Sometimes. Always. Rosa nodded. Did you have family? Gwilym shifted uncomfortably. No. They left me behind. I never knew them. Much of my memory of it is blurred. I was taken in by kind people once before, but Gwilym sighed, and Rosa observed a certain disquiet in him. I didn't belong. But you have no difficulty mingling with people. I think of that as a necessity rather than a preference. But either way, it can be quite tiresome after a while. Things don't last. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I am making the mood worse. I'm sorry. I don't mind. Gwilym had never opened up to her about his past before, and it worried Rosa, how little she actually knew of him. Anyway, would you like to go around town? I'd very much like to take you someplace more cheery. How about your favorite spot? Gwilym smiled with understanding. Oh, it's gonna get cheeky. Speaking of cheeky, I've got this lady sitting on a BMW. Yeah, as my background, so I can just see that. Alright, the pair travelled up the hill at the edge of town. There, the view overlooked the quaint village. That is a very quaint village. There's like nothing there, just a big black wall. The sunset painted everything in the pink glow of the dusk of endings. It's always so beautiful here. They used to spend time in this grassy knoll. The three of them. It was their own little hideaway. Memories of the past crept on every corner. The ghost of laughter echoed in the wind. Rosa touched the trunk of a small tree they had carved their names on. So many fond memories. Rosa, I want you to have this. William took Rosa's hand and placed an item in her palm. It was a simple silver locket. She looked up at him questioningly. I've had that for as long as I can remember. One of my remembrance of the past. I can't take this. You must. You need it more than I do, but it's old, and the locket doesn't even open anymore. I don't know why I've held on to it for so long. I can't even remember how I came to have it. But it comforts me. Maybe it'll have the same effect for you. This is your treasure, William. It feels so wrong to take it. On the contrary, I believe you must have it. Call it a hunch or a feeling, an urge on my past. Or on my part, I don't know what that meant. Said, I am not good with expressing sorrow, or even giving comfort, but I want to do something, at least, for you. He closed his hand over hers, affirming the gift. It's yours. Please, take it. You are wrong if you think I am letting you stay in the castle simply for Catherine's sake. I do it of my own accord. Let me do this for you, Rosa. We have been friends for quite a while. If you need to leave, at least stay until you feel ready to go. All right. But I will continue working in your household for my lodging. You do not have to do that. I can raise your status to a lady. You can read and write now, and very well. I am sure you will be more comfortable in a higher position. I have no need for a higher position, just free access to your library. You have come a long way from the shy girl back then, Rosa. Watching you grow has been a pleasure. Yes, the library is yours. They were quiet for a while, only conversing through looks, smiles and tiny sighs. Rosa realized that she had been holding on to Guillaume's hand all this time. She broke off from his hand, rather embarrassed. We should head back. You're right, it's getting quite late. William walked over to the carriage to get it ready. Excellent, child. Being a maid in the household will give you free access to the rooms. He trusts you. Oh my god, are we gonna murder this dude? Are we like a hitman from a ghost hitman? He trusts you completely. It seems that the candle worked. I guess so. Rosa looked at the silver necklace in her hand. She fiddled with it, trying to open the lock. Open it or leave it alone? Leave it alone. I loathe that thing. I don't wish to accept... Oh no, that's not what I meant. I wish you hadn't taken it. In any case, just leave it alone. Yes, mother. Rosa slipped the necklace into her coat pocket. Just got an achievement. The spell will start its effect in stages, gradually uncovering his true face. Fondness first, then trust. Familiarity. Rosa sighed. But was the spell necessary at all? Didn't she already have that with William? Rosa bit her lip, remembering the warmth of his hand. They had known each other for a long time. It was rather comforting to have someone to mourn with. However, Rosa did find it strange that Gilliam rarely even mentioned Catherine anymore. It was as if he was shedding her off like skin. Again, the taste of blood in her throat resurfaced. The memory of the needles made her stomach lurch. Since her friend had died, the Marquis had begun spending all his hours locked in his office. He barely showed himself socially, rarely even attended meals. And I think that's where we're going to end it, guys. But I'll just say this. But they were casting a powerful spell, something that might harm William. What if he was, after all, innocent? She had years of good memories with him. What she was even expecting to find out? Exactly how could she live with the guilt of two dead friends? Rosa sighed. She cared for him. Despite all the suspicions, she knew that too much. Mother was adamant. 3 candles for 3 loves. A fitting curse for a man who frolics in love's domain. Stroge, the love of familiars. Phia, the love for friends. And Eros, the love for lust. Open his heart with Stroge, unmask him with Phia. Strike him down with Eros, or Eros. Yet Rosa kept a 4th candle. One she had named Agape. Agape? Is that me? Agape, I guess. Unconditional love. She didn't know whether she would ever use it. Mother, of course, would object. But just in case Eros successfully struck him, she had wished to light Agape. At least give him peace before. Rosa walked towards Gilliam, a pang of anxiousness biting at her. Rise, my daughter. The work lays ahead. To bring him down, we must find his weakness, then we attack. Revenge will be sweet, my daughter. Do it for mother. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, rating, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys in the next one, where we get to find out what happens. And it seems to me it's going to be going on for ages. So this will probably be a really long series. I'm not sure. I'm really digging it. I'm digging it. And I'll probably do one of these every 2 weeks as well. Just so I don't have this up like every. Like, I'll focus on my main series, and then I'll have this. Well, this is a main series, but anyway, you know what I'm on about. Almost a 30-minute episode, but I have to edit out a few things and get some things edited. So this is probably up tomorrow, or maybe late tonight. I'm not sure. And yeah, I will have to go outside now and do some work. So thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one.